right, folks, can you hear me? Hope you can, because this is not just any kind of everyday episode we got today. This is our first repeat guest, James Nelson.
I'm honored.
You're honored?
Honored to be here.
More honored this time or last time?
Well, you know, if you're invited somewhere the first time, maybe it's just because they're being polite.
Right.
If you're invited a second time, it's because you got something to you. So
So
there must be something to me.
You got something to you, brother.
And this one, it's like just you, you know, so you get the whole solo episode.
I'm honored.
You should be honored. This is actually a very requested episode. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not
Really?
gonna bullshit you.
No
This is
bullshit.
no bullshit, man. No bullshit here. I'm gonna get a sign that says no bullshit.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, dude, frick.
Who's requesting it?
Oh, dude, you want me to start the list? The list is going forever.
Yeah.
Actually, your old high school basketball coach, my father-in-law, Phil, wanted to see
Phil.
a solo episode with you.
Phil?
No, this isn't taking anything away from John.
Yeah.
It's not. But
John?
Phil requested it. I think Jaden wanted to see it again. Our probably our most loyal listener.
Yeah, he's
Jaden
definitely
Barnum.
our most loyal listener.
I don't know. There's been a few people like we want, and well, I will say our TikTok account. Our most viewed video is you telling your story.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone's like, "This is the most talented storyteller I've ever seen in my life." So
I'll take it.
Blew up. It got like 15,000 views in like
Really?
a couple days or something.
yeah, people are still liking every once in a
Really?
while. Yeah, dude, you're a storyteller. So
I'll take that.
take it, right? Take it to the bank, brother. If you believe in banks, we had Derek Rolfe on. He doesn't really believe in banks. So maybe take it to your crypto wallet.
Yeah.
So what's new, man? You're back in Utah.
I'm back in Utah.
What's that like? Why's that?
So I just graduated from a school in Idaho called Northwest Nazarene University. Played basketball there for 3 years. Ended up graduating with a degree in history.
Dang, son.
Yeah, I know. So I ended up graduating, and I knew I wanted to come back to Utah. I haven't lived here in 5 years, really. And I always wanted to come back here.
Yeah.
Always kind of been homesick a little bit. So I knew that as soon as I graduated, I was coming back down here. Currently doing real estate school right now.
Awesome.
So hope, praying to God that I'll find some sort of business somewhere.
You will, man.
I hope so.
Praise God. Praise God, baby.
Absolutely. So I'm doing that. I'm doing real estate school. I'm also starting a nonprofit as well.
Dang.
Yeah.
What for? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, actually, no.
Is this like the first announcement of the nonprofit?
Publicly, yes.
Oh,
I
oh.
saved it for this.
Dang.
Are you serious?
I saved
You don't
it.
have to share if you don't want to.
I want to share.
Okay,
it.
share it.
I
baby.
want to
Let's
share
hear
it.
Let's hear it.
I'm starting a nonprofit. I don't know the name of it yet. I
Okay.
have to trademark it still, and the lawyers have to take care of that. But the whole project is going to be lobbying for increased civic education standards.
Oh,
so,
cool.
for instance, in order to graduate, I think that a good idea would be to, in order to graduate high school, you have to pass a basic citizenship test
Okay.
that immigrants have to pass when they immigrate here. I also think that kids should, like, by the 5th grade, have to memorize the Gettysburg Address or
Cool.
the preamble. Like, we do some of that stuff, not as much. Like, students should, like basic finance, personal finance should be mandated in schools.
Yeah.
I think that, like, if you want to do outdoor skills and activities, that should be able to be a class.
Cool.
Like self-defense classes.
Yeah.
Like practical, more classical forms of education.
Yeah.
Like CTE in every single school across Utah. But really civic education, like learning how government works, the difference between natural rights and civil rights, is something that a lot of students are lacking these days, and they don't have a lot of context for history in this country. So they'll go to these colleges and universities, and they'll get indoctrinated into
Right.
thinking that we're a terrible, evil, no good, very bad country. And so the whole idea is to get ahead of that problem while they're still in high school and educate them, give them some sort of context for how this country works, the history of it, and how to participate in our country, because in a self-governing country, if citizens are not educated, then they can't efficiently govern themselves, and they'll have to outsource their power to the government to take care of things for them, which we're seeing right now. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to start in Utah first.
Cool.
I'm in the process of figuring out which policies I want to pursue, raising money and getting a basic name established.
Dang, that's pretty sick.
That is pretty sweet.
So my thoughts are, so if you implicate a class that, pretty much like a citizenship class, you want to implicate or something like that, is it a class that would be graded that would go onto a GPA, or would it be like a class that you like go participate in, hopefully learn something, and you can apply it to your daily life as a U.S. citizen?
So that's a really good question. I'm still in the research phase of trying to, because here's the problem. Nebo School District, for instance, they have like an 85% graduation rate. Compared to the rest of the country, that's pretty high. Bureaucrats and elected officials and educators are going to be hesitant to maybe heighten the standards for graduating high school because they want that 85% to stay there. So the trick is going to be threading the needle between making sure that the bureaucrats and school board officials are on for it, so it doesn't place so much of a increased burden on teachers and students, but also wanting them to be fully educated in the history of this country. So it's going to be a tough balance between those two things.
Yeah.
I'm still in the research phase of it because there's a lot of like Florida has done a lot with education recently, so I'm still studying like what they're doing right now. So I don't have an official layout for, okay, this class has to be done by this age and so on and so forth. I just have these sort of broad general principles that I'm trying to really dig down in and find the practical application of them. Because, and the problem with any piece of legislation is that politics is the art of the possible. So, I mean, my goal is to have everyone pass a citizenship test to graduate high school. I think that'd be a very good thing. But there are a lot of people who might not be on board with that. So it's all going to be about incremental approaches as well, and not trying to do everything in 1 year. It's going to take a long time to do this. So I'm still doing a lot of research and getting a basic framework down.
Why do you think people would be against just like having everyone pass that basic citizenship test? Because like it seems like, at least to me, seems like pretty common sense. Like you know, you make immigrants pass it. Like if you're living in the country already, you should be able to know this stuff. So it's just like, why would people?
Why are they opposed to that? Well, that's a very good question. I mean, why are Democrats against putting a border wall up? It goes against their own self-interest. And that's a problem with any bureaucrats, any people who are elected. Usually they're anxious about, I mean, they're public figures, so they don't want to do anything too controversial.
Right.
Democrats, they want illegal immigration because they want to give them amnesty and bring them in as voters, right? So these people on the local school boards, the Utah has an official school board. I think it's 9 people that are, I can't remember if they're elected or they're appointed by the governor, but like I said, they want to have those results of that 85% students graduating. Right. Because if it goes below 85%, then some other competitor can come in and say, look, it was 85% 2 years ago, now it's 75%, and it's because you're on the school board.
Right.
So it opens you up for uncomfortable questions because people aren't willing to look beneath just that number. So they're against it because it sort of threatens their position. And really these positions on the school board, they're really just there to kind of go along to get along. They don't want to cause a lot of problems, right? They don't want to be in the newspaper if it's for anything bad. So they don't want any sort of controversy. And this type of thing would be more controversial than you think, just because it upends what has existed in the state for a long time, makes teachers more accountable, puts an increased burden on, like, say for instance you're a science teacher, and instead of having all these requirements that we have for science, now those requirements are going to go more towards history and civic education. Well, then those science teachers, science departments, right, all across the state, they're going to be up in arms because they're saying, you're taking away from us, right? So you wouldn't think that it would step on anybody's toes at all, that it's really self-explanatory, that it really appeals to the people it should appeal to, which you'd be right. Mm-hmm. But it also steps on the toes of some people who unfortunately have a lot of power in this state. So it's not going to be immediately popular, and a lot of people will come out against it, definitely.
I could see that, and I think another argument I could see is like not so much on the right side of things or the conservative side of things, but it seems like more and more nowadays that history is negotiable. It's like, for example, I just finished reading the Lincoln Hypothesis.
Oh, it's a great book.
It is a good book. But I never was made aware that there's an other side, that Lincoln, wasn't really a good guy, that he only freed the slaves in the South and not the North. I never realized that those were things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I could see where people would argue more so on the left side that if there was a civics class and there was like a certain standard that there had to be to pass, that they would be fired, or using the argument that they're being more indoctrinated than educated.
Yeah.
So, which I'm definitely not on board with that. I'm just saying I think that argument would also be put into play where they're saying, okay, well, here's the government again deciding like what actually happened, and because people are starting to think or believe that history is now negotiable.
Yeah, no, it's a big problem, and one of the biggest problems out there is this thing called the 1619 Project.
I think I've heard of it.
Unfortunately, it's gaining a lot of steam, especially in the more liberal parts of the country, Seattle, Portland, Minneapolis, just these
terrible cities.
Yeah, so the 1619 Project basically says that the United States wasn't a country in 1776. It started as a country back in 1619.
No kidding.
And that everything is due to racism. So, for instance, white Americans are obsessed with sugar because of racism. We have traffic because of racism.
Traffic as in like
we have literally traffic with cars because of slavery and racism.
Okay.
And we like sugar because of racism?
Because of slavery and racism.
Okay.
They also argue that we fought the Revolutionary War to protect slavery from Great Britain, which is strange because he doesn't say anything about that in the Declaration of Independence. Yeah. Actually, the first draft of the Declaration of Independence called out Great Britain for bringing slaves over here, but they took that part out on the second draft to appease the southern colony, so they would get on board with the Declaration of Independence.
Interesting.
So there's an entire strong, well-funded. I mean, it won a Pulitzer Prize.
No kidding.
This project did, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it argues that Lincoln didn't abolish slavery at all. That he actually wanted to keep slavery. I mean, it's all nonsense.
Right.
Like, for instance, 1/6 of George Washington's army was black by 1781. We obviously are not by no means perfect at all, our history.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of challenges, but the whole point of America is that we overcome those challenges and live up to the creed that all men are created equal. That's the whole point of American history. So the 1619 Project tries to go against that and say that we're racist. We're still racist. We've always been racist. Everything's about slavery. We can't ignore slavery at all. Like, it's trying to shove that down your throat. Right. So that's where indoctrination is really coming from. As far as where the left will argue against indoctrination, I'm not for indoctrination. I'm just for teaching
simple truths.
Not a rose-colored version of history, but one that provides context.
Yeah. Because,
I mean, every advanced country in the world has practiced slavery. It's nothing unique to the United States. But people don't really have that context. They don't understand that a lot of Native Americans had slavery, Mexicans had slavery, that it's really more, there's more context to it.
There is, and I even learned that Portugal, for example, was the biggest contributor to the slave trade.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's like no one knows this.
I mean, the worst slave trade in the world was actually the Eastern, I think it was either the Middle East or the Eastern slave trade, where they would actually castrate all the slaves.
No kidding.
Yeah, every single one of them.
And I think I heard the other day, South Korea had like the longest continuous line of slavery. Like they had slaves for like over like 1,000 years.
But you never learn that because you'd only think of it in the American context. Yeah. So I think one way to ensure against indoctrination, because you don't want to, because you have to, so much of what these bills are in education is a balance between giving teachers the ability to roam, because you want teachers to have the ability to really explain, like the Emancipation Proclamation, right? You don't want to have them read off of a script what it is. So what we would provide would be guidelines, and Utah does this already with certain subjects, is we talk about natural versus civil rights in the context of the civil rights movement, or in the post-slavery when they rebuilt the South after the Civil War. So, I mean, you'd have to provide basic guidelines that, and the school boards would also have a say in this. So it wouldn't be just teach these students that America is pure and has never sinned at all, because that's not what I would want to teach, because then we would never learn from it. I just want to be able to teach it in context.
Yeah, and I think that's very important. I have a friend that's actually from Germany,
mm-hmm.
and he still lives in Germany. Like, he's never lived anywhere else besides Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like asking him, like, so like, what are you guys taught in school about, World War II and
mm-hmm.
the Holocaust? And he kind of told me everything they've learned, like, obviously kind of like in a nutshell, but it was completely 100, like, no, I don't know if it's 100%, but to what me it seemed, it lined up very close to what we are taught in schools, which mm-hmm. is a way to give context to what happened, right?
Yeah.
So I felt like there was not even a bias when he was telling me what they learned in school, mm-hmm. which, right, that's his grandparents that, took part in that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just telling it how it was, not through rose-colored glasses, but it's mm-hmm. literally just telling it how it was. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really smart. It's just, you're just trying to give a context to how America was brought up, which is, there's a lot of good things, but with that, there's a lot of bad things. It's just the way everything is.
Yeah, I mean, like, say, for instance, I've been reading a lot about Western history, right? You got all these pioneers coming out here who are coming on to Indian territory, right?
Right.
There's going to be clashes. It's not, I mean, when have people ever perfectly coexisted together? There's always going to be conflict, right? And so, I mean, that's why history is so important, is because it allows you to look at these stories and place yourself in them, and it allows you to learn from the past. And really, I think it's the most important subject that you can learn about, especially in a self-governing democracy, because it sets the current generation up to then lead the country. But if you have a generation of students that hate America, why would they defend America?
Right.
Why would they participate in the democratic process?
Right.
They're not going to, and they're increasingly not.
Yeah.
A lot of them were voting, but military recruitment is completely down right now. Reason why, I think, is because of a broader argument that we're making as a country, as a government, that America's a racist place. And you see all these recruitment videos by the military where they've gone woke now.
Yeah.
Where they're literally having drag shows on military bases.
Yeah.
And I saw one instance recently where they hired a drag queen to do recruitment for the Navy.
My God.
So that you could be your authentic self in the Navy. I mean, the Navy's job is to kill people.
Yeah.
Or I talked to a Navy recruiter the other day,
mm-hmm.
or it was a little while ago, but he's like, honestly, right now with like the Biden administration in there, it's not even worth it. Like, they have like the Navy SEALs, which are like should be like the most highly trained killers on the planet, right?
Yeah.
And they're making them, instead of like go through like gun training and like training on how to like execute these missions, they're having them go through like ethics training. So if they run into like someone that says like they're transgender or a different whatever, that they know how to handle those situations instead.
Well, if Osama bin Laden was alive and he became transgender, we couldn't kill him.
I know, man. That's the best armor you can have.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I would do.
You want to be safe in the streets? Chop your penis off. That's what I say. I'm thinking about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
So if we can learn from history, right? If history tends to repeat itself, and we can learn from it, there's a lot of shit going on right now, especially with like this sexual awakening, transgender, LGBTQ, whatever.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen anything?
The alphabet mafia.
The alphabet mafia. Have we ever seen anything like this in the past that we could look back, read about, learn about, and realize, okay, this is not going where we want it to go?
Yeah, it caused the fall of Rome.
A lot of gay guys, huh?
Yeah, literally.
Because
what happens?
That's true.
And actually, his name currently escapes me. He wrote a book called The War on the West. Can't recall his name. Very, very famous author and writer. Anyway, he did a podcast. I might have been with Joe Rogan, but he talked about how in Rome, right around the time that it fell, that's when they started getting gender confused, and they started. You can see in the art, for instance, like in the sculptures and the paintings from back then, that the gender roles started to change right around then. Yeah, Sheesh. And a lot of homosexuality took over. A lot of the last Roman emperors were actually gay.
Okay.
So not very good. I mean, it happened to the Greeks too.
Right. Yeah. I remember watching 300. You guys ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
Great movie. He's like, what did he call the? He called some of the people. Who were they from? What's the big place in this?
Sparta.
Yeah, they're Sparta, but then he called some of the other ones boy lovers. The Athenians. Yeah. Yeah, he's like. So, like, these Persians come in and start talking about the Athenians, and he's like, something about, like, oh, those are just boy lovers. We don't need to worry about them, or something, like, you know what I mean, like that.
Well, it was a real problem.
Yeah.
I mean, Plato was gay.
Really?
Very famous writer. I mean, he wrote an entire book about being with young boys, so.
Shh, dude. Holy crap.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's taken over and completely destroyed two big empires. I mean, 20% of Generation Z identifies as a LGBTQ.
That's freaking nuts, dude.
20%, that's a fifth.
Yeah.
Last generation, it was like 5%. At this rate, everyone's going to be gay in like 100 years.
Dude.
I think they're just like making it seem cool nowadays.
Absolutely.
Like, it's cool.
I mean, well, tomorrow, holy month of Pride starts.
Dude, I know.
This is the last day you can be straight for 31 days.
Good thing we're doing this podcast today and not tomorrow. This might be a whole different podcast.
Yeah, holy hell.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
not ready for it.
So what are you guys doing to celebrate Pride?
Celebrate Pride.
Going do a parade.
Parade?
Gay Pride parade.
I'm wearing high heels every single day. I want to walk a mile in a woman's shoes.
Dude, you could totally do something like that. That's how you raise money for your nonprofit right there, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dude, but it's just bullcrap. I mean, I have
getting implants too, just to know what it's
implants.
Like. Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to see that. I mean, like, from a distance.
If you want to be like the actual like LGBTQ woman, probably wear like a weighted vest around too while you're in the high heels.
Here's what I'll actually do. Here's what I'll do right now.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm gonna join the women's soccer team.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll just kick the shit out of everyone. I'll join the college basketball team for girls.
Dude,
do you think
I won't even shave? I'm not even gonna change anything. I'm just gonna say I'm a woman.
That's all you have to do.
Do you think if you like joined the WNBA right now, you would be like the LeBron James? The WNBA?
Oh, absolutely.
Dude,
absolutely.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think Brittany Griner just said that she like welcomes it. Like, she's not. I mean, she's. I think someone asked her if like LeBron James was like, you know, came out as a chick, said he wanted to come play in the WNBA, would you be okay with it? She said, oh yeah.
Well, they'd finally get ratings.
Yeah. Dude, I saw this thing. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it's like a while back, a WNBA player, I don't even remember who it was, like, we just want to be paid the same as the guys, right? Like the same percentages, right?
Yeah.
And then someone kind of broke it down as like, well, if we do the same percentages, the WNBA has like lost money for so and so amount of years.
Yeah.
So if we're doing it by percentages, every WNBA player actually owes the league $50,000.
Yeah, because they're operating at a loss, and the NBA is what's carrying them.
Exactly.
And like they try to pretend that it's like super entertaining.
Yeah.
And my cousin is one of the best female basketball players in the country.
Oh yeah.
So I say this with authority. Sometimes that shit is just bad.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, who goes to their games though?
They're paid.
Paid actors.
They're paid to go.
No, one time they did a poll in Seattle, right? The Seattle. I don't even know. What
the team. Come on.
It's the Mercury or something. I don't even know. But they did a poll where they said, "Would you rather get $10 or have your the WNBA team in Seattle win the finals?" More than 50% of them voted for $10.
Oh my gosh, dude! I'd take the $10. Yeah,
oh my gosh! I'd take $2.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's real. That's really revealing.
Or I think it was Brittany Griner too. Like a couple years ago when USA was in the Olympics, like and they had like that dream team or whatever. She was saying 1-on-1 she could beat DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh yeah, she couldn't beat Drum.
Yeah,
she couldn't beat the Russian prison system.
Yeah, true. She definitely couldn't, man. Dude, didn't she chop her breasts off? I think she did.
There's not much to cut anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she already looks like a dude. So.
She does look like a dude. She moves like a dude.
If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Probably a duck. If you want to be a duck, you can be a duck.
In this day and age, I support it.
Dude,
in fact, I want a whole month just to celebrate that nonsense.
Just a bunch of quackers running around.
Quackers and queers.
Quackers and queers. Dude, that should be a restaurant. I'd go there.
That should be. It's
Quackers
in San
and queers.
Francisco, I think.
Yeah. You have to wear a flower in your hair to go, though. So, Dude, have you ever been to San Francisco?
I have.
Shithole.
Good Lord. I got approached by I don't even know what this person was. It's in downtown San Francisco. It's a really nice area. And I'm eating my pizza. I'm on the outside of this table.
Yeah.
And everybody's looking at me. Like looking right past me.
Okay.
I'm eating my pizza, and they keep staring. And I look good, but I didn't look that good.
Okay, yeah.
And I turn over like this, right, to see what they're looking at. And it's this old, I don't even know what it was. Person
duck,
hunched
man.
over with a hood like this,
Geez.
and there's a shawl up to here, so you can just see its eyes. These beady little eyes, they're black.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, they're literally hunched over. It looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And I go like this.
Scares you.
To
Defend yourself.
to defend myself.
Yeah.
And this dark voice, like this super dark, deep voice goes, "We're not going to do that." And I was like, and they call me the bundle of sticks word that we can't say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kept saying it over and over again, and he's like, "We're not going to do that." And I was like, "Sorry, sir, I didn't mean to do that." She goes, "It's ma'am."
Oh, shit.
And I was like, "I'm sorry, ma'am." Again, I said it on accident again. "I told you not to say that."
Oh my gosh.
And then they just, I don't even know what this person was. This person started berating us and kept asking us for food. We didn't have any food because we just finished our pizza.
Yeah.
And they thought that we were lying and kept like harassing us all the time.
Jeez,
and I said,
son.
I finally said, "Look, ma'am, if you want to, just go bother somebody else."
Yeah.
And she got up on my grill again.
Oh, jeez.
And she tried to like come at me.
She had bad breath?
Terrible breath.
Yeah, I imagine.
And but you got to be careful though, because those people have needles
That's
and
a good point. Yeah, that's
Sad.
good. Dang, son.
That's hepatitis C right there.
Hepatitis C you later, baby.
Yeah, but like the smell, the look in the eyes, like you could just tell that this person's not well, and no matter how much government money is coming to them, like they need Jesus.
Dude, yeah, they do.
So.
And they probably are getting a decent amount being in San Francisco.
Oh yeah. No, I got off a bus station the next day in downtown San Francisco, and it's like a cloud of urine hits you right in the face.
Dude, no way.
And this person, I remember this person, it was this black lady. She was bald, and she had 3 teeth in her mouth, 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top.
Some apple peelers.
And we're just sitting there, and I didn't know that the rule is you're supposed to ignore them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we get off the station, and we're just walking towards, I think it was Nordstrom or something. And it's like 5 o'clock at night, and everything boards up at 6. Like they're not open past 6 there. And so we're walking, and this lady comes up to us, and she starts swinging her arms and skipping. And she's like, "I'm from Louisiana." And I said, "That's great. I'm from Utah." And my friend's like, "Don't say anything. Don't say anything."
Oh my gosh.
And she's like kept going like this and skipping, like saying over and over again, "I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana." Followed us for like 2 miles just on a straight skip.
Oh my gosh.
Those people, they're not well, and
They're not.
I feel bad, but
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I know what you're talking about. I've been in a situation like this too. I was in Anchorage, Alaska. Spent the last 2 weeks fishing. We went to a Walmart, and there's this dude on a bike, and I'm in Walmart. I'm actually talking to Bracken, my wife, and on the phone, and I made the mistake of not ignoring them, but I did make eye contact.
yeah.
Like straight on eye contact. This guy like locks in. I feel him lock in.
There's tension.
And I was like, oh dude, he's on a bike. I'm on my 2 feet. Like, what's gonna happen? Well, he starts riding to me, kind of like stops, proceeds to grab his private area.
His Johnson.
Yeah, he grabs his Johnson. He looks at me. He's like, says something very unspeakable to me that he was gonna do to me. And like Bracken's on the phone the whole time, and I'm like, I'm not a man just to drop the F word. I'm really not. But I said, if you get any closer, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out. And he just starts laughing. I'm like, that didn't work. So I'm just like, dude, I just start like fast walking to my dad. Keep in mind, I'm 22 years old, and I'm like looking for protection from my dad because I was scared I was gonna get like sexually assaulted. He starts like riding his bike to me, and I'm thinking like, okay, and because we were fishing, I mean, I have a freaking 40 on me. I'm like, okay, if this guy touched me, what do I do? Do I shoot him? Like, I was running through my mind. I probably wouldn't have because I don't want to deal with the reparations after. But I was like thinking, like, dude, this guy's chasing me on a bike and he's touching his penis. Sorry, his Johnson. And I'm like, I'm gonna get raped. I'm a 22-year-old man.
Well, what were you wearing?
I was wearing like some like sweats, jogger sweats.
Oh well, there.
Gray jogger sweats.
You got to be careful when you're up there. I mean, you can't be wearing anything inviting.
I don't think he hasn't seen anything like me in a while, so I thought
he's just
he was taking advantage
up there.
Big hunk of meat.
But he grabbed, dude. I just can't get that image of his Johnson out of my head. He grabbed it right through his gross pants. Sorry if that's too descriptive, but it's what happened. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Are you still traumatized from that?
Dude, I am, because like he scared me, and he just like started doing this weird laugh. Like a laugh straight from hell.
He probably wanted you to beat him, actually.
He probably.
He wanted me to make him feel it. It's been a while since he's felt.
All that heroin numbed him.
Yeah. But I got away out of there. After my fast-paced walk back to the RV, I was safe. But it was scary, dude. Those you seen those videos in Philly recently, like Philadelphia? Dude.
I've been to Philadelphia. I tell you what.
Really?
I got caught in the gayborhood.
The gayborhood, baby.
I'm from Utah. I never heard of this shit in my life.
Right.
I'm walking, and I mind you, I didn't have a smartphone then. I had the iPad still.
Oh my gosh, the iPad days.
And I'm walking through, and we're trying to find the train station, and all of a sudden on Apple Maps, I just see, like, you know how when you like have a bigger, like a broader view on Apple Maps, and it'll say like Salem, Springville, etc. So I just see this neighborhood, and there's the words "gayborhood."
Like it was on there.
It was on there. It was on like "gayborhood," and I like zoomed in to see if it was a restaurant. And I was like, no, it's like all over the place.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm like, Mom, I think we're
at the gayborhood.
I think we're in the dude hood. You know? And I'll tell you what, we go into this shop, right? Because I'm looking for cover.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
I don't want to get sniped.
No.
As they're apt to do.
They are.
And I go into this, it's just this like corner store, right?
Walgreens?
Just like, not even that. Looks like just a mom and pop shop.
Okay.
I walk in there, and there's just graphic stuff all over the place.
Like gayborhood stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Johnson on Johnson, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, it was traumatizing. And my mom tried to escort me. And I wanted to hold hands with her just to let everybody know that...
Right. That
you don't swing that way.
I'm hetero.
Yeah, right.
I'm not...
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Not a switch hit.
Yeah. You're willing to sacrifice the image of her being your mom to a girlfriend just to protect her.
I would have made out with her just to
protect her.
Just to protect myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I have nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. No, I mean, it opened my eyes to... Just don't go in gayborhoods, I guess. Unless, if you go that way, you know...
If you're gay, go to the gayborhood.
I mean, all of San Francisco is the gayborhood now.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
But the place is like actually like on Apple.
It's designated for homosexuals. It's a part of the city that's cut out for homosexuals.
So it's a ghetto for homosexuals, like what they used to do for the Jews and the blacks.
Yeah,
dang,
they're not forced to move there.
They want to move
there. It's voluntary.
Is it colorful there?
In the gayborhood, it was.
Yeah, figure.
Lots of flags, but the flag's always changing now. You know?
That's true, dude.
You got a neighbor down the street with the flag out.
I saw that. I was on a walk the other day, just walking, and I was like, I never met them before. But I'm like, for it to be a nice house like that and a kind of a flag like that, I was surprised.
Yeah. No, I mean, tomorrow their month begins. You know.
I know.
Probably got a gay kid or something.
It's got to be something like that, right? Dude, what are your guys' honest reactions if your son or daughter comes out as a homosexual?
Well, I'd probably ask why they think that.
Okay.
If they give like a valid a reason, like, well, if they're like 7 years old and they tell me that,
yeah, you're just like, just wait, buddy.
Just here's a Sports Illustrated, buddy. I promise you're fine. But if they're like 16 or 17, like I felt this way since I was very young.
Yeah.
You always love your children, and I think that it's hard for me to say right now what I would actually do, but that's what I think you probably should do.
Yeah.
One thing that I always that my professor taught me at NNU that I always kept is that when it comes to these type of questions, because it's a big question in Protestant churches, is what do you do with people who are gay but still want to come to church? Like, obviously there's a conflict there.
Right.
And he said, it's about truth and love. So if somebody says that they're a woman, but they're really a man, and everybody knows it, right? You don't conform with that lie. You don't participate in it, but you also can still love them at the same time.
Right.
So that's what I feel like. That's a good approach for a lot of things with religion and with, say your son was gay, like you would still love him. Like you wouldn't. I mean, that's your job, is to love everybody, but especially to love him.
Yeah.
And I would just say, what makes you think that? And
right.
And
have a conversation.
Have a conversation.
Be curious.
Absolutely. Yeah, because, I mean,
what else can you do?
What else can you do?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got family members who are gay, and
yeah.
I still think they're good people.
Oh yeah.
So I got nothing against them at all.
Yeah.
You just want to understand where your child's coming from.
Right. I get that. What would you do, Cooper?
I don't know. That'd be hard. I think it'd be a lot better. Like, I feel like there's two different kinds of gays. Okay. Like, there's like kind of like the okay gays, like that you can still love and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know the British cigarette.
Yeah, I know a couple of them, but then there's the gays that they just embrace gaysism. They just
well, that's anybody. And that's anybody though. Like, if you're a cool guy, you're a cool guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't necessarily care that much.
Right.
But I mean, it's just not it's just if you're a cool guy or not to me.
Right.
I'll get along with anybody.
Yeah.
But if anybody's flashy or showy like that, like no matter if they're gay or not, I still wouldn't like them.
No, that's how I am too. That's how I really don't care. I'm the same way. Like, if you're cool, you treat me good, and you treat others good, dude, we'll get along.
What if your kid was one of those flashy gays that just had to let everyone know they were gay?
Just tell them to knock it off.
Yeah, dude, just give them... Yeah. I just don't... Like, I don't think... If you're... Okay, I think a lot of the time, if someone's gay, I think they're really gay. Like, I don't think it's anything the parent did wrong or anything. I think it's just the way they are. Mm-hmm. But if you're a flashy gay, I think that's reflective on how the person was raised. Mm-hmm. I think that's a reflection on the parents. So I just don't think I can raise someone to be that flamboyant.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Flamboyant boyfriend or something.
Well, a lot of it's extroversion and introversion,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always going to be an introverted guy, believe it or not.
I think you're kind of like an introverted or an extroverted introvert.
Yeah.
Like, you get out, but you're like, you want to be home.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'd rather hang out and read a book.
Right.
More than anything else. But no, I honestly, I don't know enough to really throw out an opinion. Cast one about. But anybody who's like, I've met a lot of white girls who are straight, who are annoying as all shit.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So it just, when it comes to flashiness in general, it just that type of stuff. Like, you're just trying too hard.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
No matter what you're doing, you're trying too hard. And I just want peace. And I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess moving on a little bit. In preparation for this podcast, did a little research.
Oh, dang.
It seems like every patriotic holiday, you and your cousins are going up in the mountains doing something.
Shirtless.
Shirtless.
Shirts are not allowed.
Yeah.
I like it.
Who started this tradition, and where is this tradition taking you?
It's taking me to a lot of dangerous places.
High places.
High places. I've never been one for shirts, to be completely honest. I mean, there's a lot of pictures of me when I'm like 5 or 6 years old with my shirt off, trying to flex. Oh, yeah. So it runs in the family. Now with Porter in the outdoors, that horse is a different color. Porter loves to, as we say, live life on the edge. Yeah. And I like to make sure that I'm not going to die. Right. That things are safe. Right. So I'm often not the popular guy in the group, just because I'm trying to make sure that everyone's safe. Yeah. Because, I don't want to die.
Yeah. You don't want to see anyone else die.
Yeah. But we've always had these traditions, where, like for instance, after we would lose a game in high school basketball, Porter would make us, like at midnight, jump in Salem Pond to atone for the loss. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I can't say on there. It's too stupid for the audience to believe. Nothing too terrible, but we've just always kind of done that. Back when Porter used to live in the rolling hills of Emmett, Idaho, which consequently is per capita the highest number of meth dealers in the entire state. Emmett, Idaho, look it up. It's a fact.
Oh my gosh.
And Porter used to live on these hills, and he would always take us on these wild adventures. Okay. So, like, we would have to, and he would most of the time be barefoot walking in the hills. So, like, we would go out and we would build teepees at like 6 or 7 years old, and we would be out for hours. I mean, one time our families almost called search and rescue for us because we were gone literally all day. We were only like 7 or 8 years old. He would have us like drink from the where the cows would drink in that little trough, or he would have us drink out of the stream that the elk had died in. Like and it was so stupid. Or like we would have to do these clubs where, like he'd have a Nerf gun dart, and he would take out the soft tip. Yeah. And you put a thumbtack in it. You'd have to get shot with it in the back to prove that you were tough enough to be in the club.
This is awesome.
Yeah, no, we had all sorts of clubs and all sorts of adventures and it toughens you up. Yeah. That's for sure.
Is there any clubs you haven't quite made it into yet?
Yeah, there are some part of. But no, we and I can say this now because it's public record. We actually got in trouble for shooting off an explosive off of West Mountain. Okay. We got 20 pounds of tannerite.
Oh, dang.
And we shot it off of West Mountain.
Yeah, that's illegal in Utah County.
Yeah, very illegal. And we shoot it off, and it created a crater in the mountain. I'm not kidding you. And we walk up there, and we had the bomb, then we had a TV and tires, and it shot the tires up into the stratosphere. I mean, they're probably still floating around. They haven't come down yet. It's been 3 years. And anyway, we shoot off this bomb. Yeah. Basically is what it was. And it happened to be the day after the earthquake from 2020.
Oh, I gotcha.
And it shot it off, and we're looking up there admiring it for like 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, we just see what looked like a presidential procession.
Oh my gosh!
Just coming, because there's that one road
up to West Mountain, yeah.
And it's just like the entire thing. There was 3 fire trucks, there was 2 fire marshals, there was 2 police officers.
Oh my god!
And there was an ambulance, all lined up, like bumper to bumper, coming right up towards us. And we're like looking around, and we're like, who are they coming for? Well, apparently the bomb was so loud that it had shaken the windows of the Payson Police Department.
No kidding.
And a bunch of people had called in because they thought there was a terrorist attack on West Mountain.
A terrorist attack?
And some folks thought that there was another earthquake because it was so loud.
Oh my gosh.
And we're like, oh crap, we gotta get out of here.
Well, you guys left?
We tried to, then they ended up catching us and ended up getting a ticket for disturbing the peace.
So did everyone get individual tickets?
Yeah, oh yeah, we all did. It was Porter's idea.
Oh jeez, man. Was it a pretty hefty fine?
It was only like $500.
Yeah, that's
I told Porter, because memory came up, and I sent a picture of me and Porter and our friend in the car with the cop lights behind us.
Yeah.
And I said, 3-year anniversary of the dumbest thing we ever did. And all he said was, small price to pay for a lifetime of glory.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. But actually, while we were up in Yellowstone recently, we played hacky sack for like 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Me, John, my friend Lance, Porter's dad. We ended up getting to 84 straight hits on hacky sack. Yeah, but I hurt my hip so bad.
Small price to pay for a lifetime of glory.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's not a small price. It's actually a lot.
Your hip hurts.
It hurts bad because I tore my labrum in my hip.
Oh. When did you do that?
Several years ago.
Really?
I've been playing on it the entire time.
Oh my gosh.
Which is another story. But yeah, because I was doing this and this and that for like. I mean, I'm pretty good. I got 30 straight on my own.
Oh my gosh, that is pretty good. I don't think I'd get more than 3, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm nice with the hacky.
The hacky sack. You're a sacker, brother.
Yeah, you can say that.
You hack that sack.
Absolutely.
That's nice, man.
So do you go to the gym with Porter?
No.
I've seen him there a few times.
I used to go with him. Porter works out for 4 or 5 hours every day. So, like, he worked out at Salem Total Fitness with me during COVID, during 2020. And we would get there around 10 or 11. We'd leave around 3 or 4. Because what happens is he warms up for an hour, then we work out for 2 hours, and then we cool down for about an hour, and then we play hacky or we go in the sauna for 20 minutes. So, I mean, it's a full day thing because he's an NFL player. Yeah. So, I mean, his entire livelihood is dependent upon his body and his health.
Yeah. I've seen him like at the gym and like he's stretching forever, dude. Yeah. Stretching and stretching and stretching. I'll get into the gym and I'll stretch for maybe 3 minutes. Yeah. And then I get into it. But he's literally there like diligently stretching.
Yeah. No, I stretch for at least 20 minutes.
Really?
And roll out and do core.
Yeah.
At least bare minimum like 20, 25 minutes. I have to.
Really? I need to start doing better with that.
Yeah, no, I did shoulders and biceps yesterday.
Yeah.
And I just destroyed them, and all day long, because I'm doing real estate school right now, so I'd be, on my laptop, and all of a sudden it would just cramp like that. It was just cramping all day long like this, just kept going like this all day long, and I kept going like this. I mean, you thought I was like Forrest Gump because I was just rocking back and forth like this with my arms straight, but really it's just like you know what I'm saying? Like I'd go to eat. Just have the fork and it would just cramp and I would just miss the fork. You know what I mean?
Hit yourself in the face.
Stab myself. So it was vexing. So stretch every day, even when you don't feel like it. Stretch.
Yeah, I'm like the most unflexible person ever.
See,
I need to stretch a little more.
He's married. He's got to be flexible.
Dude, but that's the thing. Like, that's what I take advantage. Like, I need to be better at stretching. The thing is, I'm super flexible. So I'm like, I never need to stretch because I'm super flexible. Like, I could do the splits right now without
Could you?
I could. Like, legit.
Well,
but like,
month next day.
That's what I'm saying. I've been preparing a whole lot for this month. But that's what I'm saying. I don't stretch because I'm flexible, but I can, like, still feel it when I don't stretch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, in my brain, I'm like, I don't need to stretch because I'm flexible, but, like, I need to stretch because I, like, start to feel, like, fatigue a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like, actually, my muscles start to hurt a lot more.
When it starts to hurt your bench press, that's when you really wake up.
Yeah. Dude, that's the thing. I got, like, there for a while. I got, like, super bad tendonitis in my elbows, and benching was, like, the most painful thing ever. I actually got some, like, nice wraps from my elbows and helped, but stretching's important. I'm starting to realize. I'm getting older. Getting wiser.
Absolutely.
Not a lot wiser. But any good books you're reading right now?
Yeah. I'm reading one about a fella named Kit Carson.
Kit Carson. Never heard of him.
He's a legendary mountain man, Union soldier. Just read a story today. He was surrounded by Comanche Indians.
Dang, son.
I mean, that's a place you don't want to be.
No.
This is back in the day when they were vicious,
Yeah.
And he's surrounded by them. Yeah. Yeah. So they were surrounded by him, and so he slit his horse's throat. So his horse dropped, and he used the dead horse as cover.
No way.
At the Indians, yeah.
Holy crap.
And whenever the horses would get close, they would smell the blood of the horse and get scared. So he ended up defending himself and making the Comanches flee because of that.
Holy crap.
And then I read another story where they were the Confederate Army during the Civil War had invaded New Mexico, and they were trying to get Arizona and eventually Utah. They were trying to go on the offensive in the West while everybody was focusing on the East in Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, that sort of thing. And the Union Army found that the Confederates were in this little canyon, and their entire supply chain was with them. So all their wagons, their water, their food, ammunition, everything was with them. And so they, think, if we take their supply line out right now, they're basically toast.
Right.
And so this Union general gets this bright idea of getting 200 pounds of TNT, lighting it, slapping the donkey's ass, and having him run into the Confederate camp to blow everything up.
No way, that's awesome.
So, and he did it.
Oh.
So he slaps the donkey's ass. The donkey gets all the way up to the Confederate line, right? And the Union soldiers are watching. Donkey gets to the right around where the Confederates are, and then it turns around and it starts running right back.
Oh my gosh!
So the guy who lit them fuse, he starts running because he doesn't want to get blown up,
right.
And so they're like, shoot the donkey, shoot the donkey. Right. They ended up shooting him and ended up blowing up both sides, most of them.
Oh, darn!
And it ended up. But luckily, it ended up burning all of the Confederates' food and water and stuff. So it was advantageous for the Union, but I just thought it was a pretty funny story.
That's just a pretty funny story, dude.
So I'm reading that, and then I just got a book about Genghis Khan.
Oh, that's cool. I've been interested about him. He's a freaking crazy mother trucker.
Do you know what the carbon footprint is? They can tell in the ice how much carbon there was. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. The carbon footprint of the planet, they can tell there was a difference made just by the amount of people that Genghis Khan killed.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't they say so many percentage of people?
1/4 or 1/10 or 1/4 of all Asian people can trace their ancestry back.
That man, dude.
Dude, he got around.
He's like Bill Clinton.
Or actually, I went over there. Actually, I was in Kyrgyzstan, kind of traveling around over there, and they still got big statues of him everywhere.
Oh yeah.
He just went around, freaking banged all the women, made a bunch of little kids,
killed a lot of people. Made him build a statue.
Yeah, no, he was a dangerous man. So I got a book about him. I'm always reading 4 or 5 books.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm almost done with the Kit Carson book. I've actually thought about writing a book about the history of Salem and Spanish Fork.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I think that'd be pretty cool because when Salem was originally founded, it was called Pond Town, obviously, and the pioneers who came here, if I recall correctly, I could be wrong, but they actually had to set up their defenses around the pond because a lot of Indians would come in and try to attack them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's a lot of encounters with Indians. And my ancestors actually were the original settlers of Nephi.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Dang.
so, and maybe Benjamin too.
That's cool.
So I think it'd be really cool to write. And I think that it'd be just cool to learn about more than anything else. That'd be super
cool.
So
that would be cool. I'd read that book.
Do you know much of the history behind the Dream Mine?
I know a lot of history about the Dream Mine. I went up there.
Any crazy facts or any crazy experiences while you were up there?
Well, I know they guarded with guns.
Yeah.
And I happen to know a guy who snuck into the mine under darkness and avoided the guns. Was able to go as deep into the mine as possible while the guns were kind of around the mine. They said they were really spooked.
We've been.
Really?
We had a pretty spooky experience.
Really?
Yeah.
Are there hieroglyphics on the wall?
the thing with the mine is there's like there's like a main shaft, but then there's like tons of different shafts.
Yeah.
So the one shaft we couldn't fit in. Like we needed something smaller. His little brother's actually been in.
My little brother, so he went in like kind of the main shaft, and like I don't have the balls to do this, but like he's insane. So the one you have to like climb in through the top gate. I don't know how you've been in there. It has like the poison.
I've never been in there.
Okay, but anyway, he crawled over the gate. Him and his buddies went back down there, and you go back like a couple hundred feet, and then it just drops off. But it's like it has like the rail car track on there, so it goes, and they use that as a ladder. Climbed just straight down using that like rail car thing as a ladder, and they had like signs on the side of the thing. They got over 1,000 feet down from like the top, because it'd be like 250 feet, 500 feet, 750 feet.
Got 1,000 feet down.
They got 1,000 feet down.
Yeah,
and it still kept going.
How dark? I mean, it has to be pitch black.
Yeah, like you can't see anything.
It's weird too, because we went there, and our experience was this. We went there, we're like, let's just go. We got to do this.
Yeah.
And the stupid thing was, we didn't do it in the night. We did it in the day. And so we're going, and we get going, and we're on this road. It's like it's hard to get to. Like, you have to be pretty ballsy to get there with a four-wheeler. We did it. And we're going on this road, and then out of this weird shack that they have there, this dude in a wife beater, like, has blood on his, like, wife beater, like, up his arms. He has medical gloves on. Starts chasing us.
Are you serious?
Dead serious on my life.
You're shitting me.
I swear. He was there.
Yeah, I was in front of, so because you could go like up around, and we're like, we just don't want to hike that far. So we go through this gate, and I think if you just cook up there, like it hooks up with like the Tower Road, and you can like, get up there. But we cook up there, and the Tower Road's closed. So we're like, yeah, for our life. So we already flip around and try and just get back out. And as Crane's behind me, right? We're both on separate four-wheelers. And as I'm going, I see this guy running out of his little shack, running down the driveway.
How tall was he? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know, 5'10"-ish.
Maybe 6 foot.
I got a story to tell you guys.
But anyway, I fly, like, he's almost to the road. I fly past, and I, like, turn around, look back at Crane. He's still, like, a significant ways behind me. Like, Crane's going to stop, and this guy's going to freaking kill him. Like, I saw blood all over him and stuff.
Why the hell is there blood on him?
That's what, and, like, he had medical gloves on. Like, I don't know if he was, like, butchering an animal or person. I don't know. But, like, Cooper passed this, because I was running from the shack. Cooper passes him, and I'm coming. This guy's in the middle of the road. And I'm like, oh, frick, do I stop and just, like, talk my way out of this?
So he was in front of you?
Yeah, so, like...
How far away were you?
From when he got in front of me, he was probably 30 feet in front of me. So what I kind of did is...
But you're going, like, 50 miles an hour.
But I'm flying. Because I'm like... So then I slow down a little bit. I'm like, do I try to talk to him? I'm like... No, I just gotta go. So, like, I, like, hug the side of the road, and then so he runs to that side of the road, and I just, like, go the other way and get around him, and we just, like, go, dude. And, like, it was just creepiest feeling ever. But it's just a weird place because...
Yeah, the Warrens own it.
The Warrens?
I think it's the Warrens or something like that.
I'm not sure who owns it. But, it's creepy because, like, they're doing something up there. Like, we went up there...
Probably meth.
Dude, it's gotta be something, but we went, so like you could see from the road, right, the one that tears down. We went in there as well.
Like the big white building.
Yeah, we looked through everything in there. But the weird thing is, like, they have brand new electrical everything, like brand new transformer, like everything's brand new electrical in there. So it's like,
and there's like, we went in there and there's like a paper plate full of food and a half drinking water bottle, like not even moldy yet. But everything, like, dust on everything.
So they're working on
stuff. There's something's going on. Like, they're working on something
That's
in there.
some Stranger Things stuff.
It's weird, dude.
Because then they'll be like, we saw, like, that electrical box. Like, everything's dusty. Then brand new electrical box. Like, not
Why are they guarding them with guns is the real question.
Dude, I don't know. And they get, like, if you get up there, they don't want anyone up there.
See, that'd be interesting to learn more about. That's, that mine is, like, a little over 100 years old. I think it's like right at the end of the 20th, right at the end of the 19th century. I read a book about it. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But speaking of creepy experiences, I got a good story. So, it was November of 2018.
Okay.
First semester at college.
Okay.
Right? And I started dating this girl. Right? Well, no, that was actually there. I'm hanging out with this girl. Right? And in this parking lot, I'm sorry if you're watching this, Mom.
I've heard this story.
I don't know
I've heard this story.
I've heard this story.
There's this park not far from campus, and there's only one way to get into this park, right? It comes off this road, and you can't get out of that parking lot unless you go back on that road. And so it's like, I don't know, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we're in the park, in the parking lot of this park. And, we're kissing in the front seat.
Of course.
As one does.
As one does.
Sorry, Mom, like I said. And so we're there, and all of a sudden we see a cop car pull into the parking lot, but he stays by the entrance, so it's like we can't leave.
Right.
And so we're really confused.
Like,
we're like, why is he there? Like, does he want us to leave? Does he want us to stay? So I put it in reverse, like Terry, and I back out a little bit.
Right.
And then he comes running towards the car, and he says, stop right there. Don't move. And we're really confused now. We're like, what the hell is going on? And we're just super confused. And all of a sudden, we see like 6 police cars pull into the parking lot.
Yeah.
And one of them pulls in and takes off running through the park, because the park was right in front of us. And we're just like, what the hell? Did we walk up on a crime scene, or did we do something wrong? We have no idea. And so the original cop who first pulled into the parking lot walks up to our door, taps on the window, we roll it down, and points out into the park. And he goes, do you recognize that guy? And we look out in the park. And it's this guy, he's in a white shirt, like a loose white dress shirt. He's in slacks that are kind of like this, a little more brown.
Yeah.
He's wearing like these, Asics shoes.
Okay.
They're white and blue. I can still remember what he was wearing. And he had these glasses on, and this curly brown hair. And he's about 5'10". And I'm like, no, officer, we've never seen him before. What happened? And he goes, well, I was driving past the park, and I saw that man with his hands on the window like this, looking into your car.
Oh my gosh.
And he goes, just to make sure I wasn't seeing anything, I drove past the park, made a U-turn, came back, and by the time I came back, he was still doing this in the car.
Oh,
right
dude,
outside the car.
Oh, I don't like that.
That is creepy.
And he said they pulled in, and that's when he took off. And when he told me that, just the chills that went through my body.
Oh.
I was so disturbed, because the car was unlocked, and if he would have unlocked that door, what would I have done?
Right.
I don't know what I would have done, to be frankly honest with you. And then 2 years later, I'm doing a curb. I paint the address curbs.
Yeah.
I'm doing a curb right kind of in that area. And I'm at this one guy's house. I remember he was watching Band of Brothers inside. And I'm doing the curb. I'm working on the flag. And I can feel this guy standing over my shoulder.
Oh, I didn't hear this part.
This is new. And I could feel this guy standing over my shoulder. And I figure it's just the homeowner, right? Because a lot of times a homeowner, they'll watch you do the curb to make sure you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Right? And so I get done, I look up. It's the same guy.
No.
2 years later.
No.
And he goes, don't mind me, I'm the town creep.
Yeah, like, no shit.
He's like, I'm the town creep. I just like to watch people in the neighborhood, make sure everybody's safe. And I said, sure, Mr. Bundy.
Yeah, did you really say that?
I didn't say Mr. Bundy, but I said, sure, buddy.
Yeah. Holy, so what did the cops do to him that night?
Oh, I don't know. I never found out. And I didn't,
dude.
Personally,
Dude,
didn't
that's
want to
wild.
find out.
Dude, that scares me.
Yeah.
Just like hearing that.
No, it was scary.
Jeez.
And I'm just an 18-year-old kid shaking through my knees.
Dude, I would have been shaking all around, dog. Holy crap.
Dude, what would happen if, like, you looked up, though, like, mid-section,
That's what I'm saying.
and see his face right against your window?
I probably would have. I honestly, I think I would have like done this or something and like broken the car window or something. Like I don't know what the hell I would have done, to be frankly honest with you. And I think about that a lot.
Yeah, dude. Holy crap. Yeah, that's creepy. That's really creepy. I'm glad nothing's happened to me like that ever. I mean, the only somewhat situation I've ever been with that, I was working in the ER.
Why are you working in the ER?
I was working as like an ER tech when I first got off from my mission.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was super fun. I actually really liked the job. Got to see him participate in a lot of cool things. But anyway, I was working the night shift, right? And I just got done watching a video that like these traffickers put like sticky notes on people's cars with like a nice note, you know, just to, like distract someone and for just like to take them or whatever. Mm-hmm. Just watch that video. Mm-hmm. And shift change just happened, so it's like just after 6 a.m. Mm-hmm. Still dark because it's in the winter. Still pitch dark, and there's this creepy car like backed into the parking lot. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's kind of creepy, but whatever. Like, why is he here this early? Whatever. Mm-hmm. So I like start walking my car, and then I like everyone's walking home. Everyone that's done with their shifts walking into their cars, and I look on every single freaking car. There's a sticky note.
You serious?
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, holy crap. Like, and I'm like the only dude, you know, because like, you know, just kind of like a bunch of female nurses coming home, being done with their shift. I'm like, dude, like, is something about to happen to me? Like, I'm kind of nervous. And like, I see like all these chicks are coming out. I'm like thinking in my head, this is the perfect opportunity for a chick to get stolen. Like,
oh yeah,
like this guy knows that this guy that's backed into the parking lot, the back corner of the parking lot. I can see he's in there. I can see his car on because it's cold, and I can see his exhaust. So I'm like, oh freak, dude, this guy's gonna nab one of these little nurses. And I was like, oh freak, I'm gonna have to do something, which I'm fine with. But so I'm like, oh freak. And I was thinking, it is a perfect opportunity. There's these little nurses. They're all probably like, 5'5" on average. Little chicks, good-looking chicks. Like, someone's going to kidnap tonight. Mm-hmm. So
absolutely.
So everyone's kind of walking out, and I see this guy. When he sees people walk out, I can see him kind of like sit up in his car like this.
You serious?
And I'm like, oh, dude, what am I going to do? So, and then, like, we make eye contact. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like look at him. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I got to let him know that he needs to fear me right now. So I'm like,
it sounds so primal.
I'm like looking. I'm like, hey, you fear me. I'm thinking in my head like, yeah, you're scared of me right now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, like then I get in my car and kind of watch him. I stay for like 20 minutes to make sure everyone like leaves, like all these chicks leave, and like as they all leave, he like goes, he like leaves and is like done. So I'm like, dude, it kind of scared me because like my mom works at the hospital too. I'm like, dude, if he would have touched me, I'm gonna kill him. So it's just like, I hate people like creepers like that, dude. I don't get how people just get off to this feeling of like they want to steal someone or want to creep on someone or I don't get that, dude. It pisses me off. Ooh, I hate that. I hate that you had to go through that, dude. That scared me so bad.
Yeah, no.
Do you think it would have been worse if you looked up and saw him, or the cops told you after the fact?
I think if it would have happened now, I would have swung my car open really hard to try and knock him out.
Yeah.
And like I'm mentally prepared for that situation now.
Yeah.
I was not mentally prepared for that situation when I was 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I've gone through some crazy stuff since then that kind of makes you more aware of if something like that could happen.
Right.
But yeah, I was not ready and. Just a young lad.
Yeah.
Young lad of 18.
Yeah, dude. Do you guys ever like constantly put yourself in these situations now? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna react? Like, almost like kind of hoping it happens sometimes.
Oh yeah, there are people where I'm like, I hope you assault me.
Yeah.
Now there was one time, this one kid, I was at line dancing, right? And in Idaho, folks are apt to get drunk at these line dances. And so I start dancing with this little filly, female.
Yeah, of course. It's not June yet, right?
And I start dancing with her, right? Feeling cool, feeling great. And I get a tap on the shoulder. I turn around, get knocked right in the ear. Swear on my life. I go down to the ground.
Oh.
I come up, and this guy is like literally like swinging literally. And I could tell he's so drunk. I was like, honestly, sir, you should probably just leave.
Yeah.
I was just really polite about it.
Right.
because you don't want to start a fight in front of all these people and
right. It's not something you want to get into.
He's drunk and all of his buddies were like, "We're super sorry, like please, like he's just drunk, like like just ignore him." So I was like, you know what, I'll just take the higher road here, and I was really polite about it, and I just asked him to politely leave.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even that long ago. That was like a year ago.
Oh dang!
But like looking back on it now, sometimes I really wish I would have let him.
Yeah, I have those situations a lot. Right?
Well, there was one time. Speaking of confronting people, Porter was at USC, and this kid dropped a textbook in the hall, and it made a bang sound. And one of the teachers goes, "Shooter! Shooter!" So everybody starts running.
Oh my gosh!
And if you remember, there was a blind kid on the football team when it was Jake.
Yeah.
The long snapper.
Yep.
And so he hears "shooter." And so he's blind and he's
oh my god!
And so Porter hears "shooter," and he and his friends are like looking for this guy because they're trying to like take him out.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we just grab the gun barrel and it's like super simple to him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He doesn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But this poor kid, his dog takes off without him.
Oh my god!
And so Porter said he starts running. He's blind.
No!
He's running on the dead sprint. Comes right into a brick wall, just passes out.
That poor guy, dude.
And he passed out not knowing if he would wake up.
He thought he died.
He thought he died.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to laugh. That's terrible.
Oh, it's terribly funny.
But dang, son. Holy crap. That poor guy. That makes me feel sad.
Porter said that, he'd sneak into the weight room sometimes and it'd be pitch black. And he'd be lifting in there. Because he said it doesn't make a difference to me.
Holy crap, dude.
That's goblin mode right there.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, he's blind and he's snapping,
Yeah, dude. I've seen videos.
Yeah, no, I had experience kind of similar to those ones before you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you guys do this, but growing up, you get in the shower at night. Yeah. And just these scenarios are run through your head.
Yeah,
what you're going to do.
You start feeling different.
Someone attacks you. You're shadow boxing in the shower. How are you going to take these guys out?
Did this last night.
Exactly.
My dad was there.
In the shower?
No.
Okay. Just make sure.
Don't be weird about it.
I was just clarifying. Clarifying for everyone, that's all.
But anyway, this is actually on my mission. So I get on my mission.
Where'd you serve?
In British Columbia, Canada.
Oh.
But
God bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bunch of crazy liberals up there. But anyway, it just kind of worked out perfect. I'm in the shower the night before, thinking about what's going to go down. Very next day.
Singing I'm a child of God.
Yeah.
Probably.
I've done that in the shower many times.
Very next day, we go to this rec center. And, we're just sitting at this, kind of like a picnic table. Just doing what missionaries do, making some phone calls, seeing how people are doing. Mm-hmm. And off in the corner, there's this, you could kind of clearly tell he's not all there. He was just absolutely wasted. Mm-hmm. Somehow snuck into the rec center and was just sleeping in the corner or something. Mm-hmm. And we're there for a minute, and this guy wakes up, sees us, comes over. I don't know why people like that are just attracted to missionaries. It seems like the crazier you are, the more attracted you are to missionaries. Don't know why that is.
Salesman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know the correlation there. But anyway, he comes over, sits next to us, and this is terrible on my part, but one of my favorite things to do is just mess with people on my mission. You're always running into these crazy people.
Gotta have somewhat of fun,
And, that's how I got through it. I would just make fun of these people. So he's asking where we're from, I'm from Salem. And he's like, oh, dude, I've been there many times. He used to deal drugs down there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, dude, no, you haven't, dog. There's no drugs down there. He's like, yes, I have. And it was saying he got thrown in jail when he was 8 years old and hates the U.S. because of it. I'm like, no, that's not how that works, man. Just calling him out and stuff.
Penal code doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And anyway, my companion's like, oh, we got to get going. Shakes his hand. And then I go to shake his hand. And, he grabs my hand, then with the other arm grabs me up higher up and, pulls me across the table towards him. And he's like, I saw you staring me down. He's like, I'm going to effing kill you. And, still has, a pretty good hold of me. And I'm like, dude, there's kids here. I'm still, messing with the guy, right? Because I didn't think he was going to do anything. And he's like, dude, I'm going to effing kill you. I'm like, dude, you aren't going to kill me in front of these kids. No, you won't. And then he, grabs me by the back of the collar and, tries to, pull me over the table. And I just the night before I was thinking about this, I just clock him right in the face.
Are you serious?
Yeah, just punch him right in the mouth. Like, he falls off the picnic table, just like falls on his back, just laying there. And then my companion, so just to explain this guy a little bit, he was from British Columbia, so he got called to the same mission that he lived in. Yeah. So, kind of homeschooled his whole life, just a few things off the guy. He's like, he can't even speak at this moment. He just takes off running. And like, I see he's just laying on the ground. So I go to the front desk and I'm like, hey, like, this guy, I just punched this guy. Like, yeah, I think he's drunk. Like, I don't know what you guys want to do. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the manager comes out, like, takes us into his office, goes over to this guy, like, he's kind of bleeding out his mouth and stuff. Sees he's just absolutely wasted, just escorts him out, just like, get out of here. Mm-hmm. And he was actually a really cool guy. Like, we're in his office and he like pulls back the security footage. He's like, oh dude, that was pretty sick, Mm-hmm. Just hyping me up. And still at this point, like, a companion hasn't even said a word. Like, he's just petrified. Mm-hmm. Like, can't even function. But yeah, anyway, that's what happened.
Where in Salem did he live?
This guy? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
210 North, 460 West, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Oh yeah. We don't want to keep you much longer, James. I just want one question for you.
Gotcha.
What's one book that you think everyone in the world needs to read? Besides the Book of Mormon. Just kidding.
I'd say the Bible.
The Bible, like legit the Bible?
I would legitimately say the Bible.
Okay. For what reason?
Well, it's the basic, like, all of our understanding of values comes from the Bible.
Okay.
And what knits us together as a nation is our common values. And just the basic belief of a Judeo-Christian worldview. And absent that, the government has to step in now and play a role. So, for instance, so many of our problems political problems really goes back to a problem of the lack of religion and strong families.
Right.
And the government can't fill that. So, for instance, gun control wasn't a thing until really the 2000s.
Yeah.
The reason why it wasn't is because it was unthought of to commit a crime so heinous as a school shooting. Yeah. Right? So there wasn't any legislation for it. The government didn't have to step in because the parents policed it. So, and that's true with a lot of cases, like with drugs. So I would say that it's definitely the Bible.
Okay.
There's a lot of good ones out there, but the Bible, if everybody in our country could read just one book, absent my memoir I'm coming out with called Living with Limes, I would say it's the Bible.
Okay. Guys, keep an eye out for Living with Limes.
And the Salem.
And the Salem Spanish Fork history.
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick. All right, James, anything else you want to say to the folks out there listening?
Subscribe to this podcast.
Oh, frick yeah, dog.
And follow me on Instagram at JamesNelson4 to keep posted about what I'm doing with
my
nonprofit. There you go.
We'll put it in our bio.
And catch flights, not feelings.
Amen, brother. Let's end it on that.
There we go.
Oh, that was nice. I feel the spirit right now.
Yeah.
Oh, there are some stories I wanted to tell so bad.
Well, one day, brother, when the statute of limitations lets go.